In this cool and serene setting of Buddo in Wakiso district lives Ambassador Olara Otunnu. Born and raised in Muchwini, Chua County in Kitgum district, Otunnu completed his primary level education in northern Uganda before joining King's College Buddo, where he was awarded a Queen's Scholarship.
And I was fortunate that I came first in northern Uganda, so my fees at Buddo was therefore taken care of under the Queen's Scholarship.
Otunnu says his 6 years at Buddo laid the foundation of who he is today.
I had the best teachers in the whole wide world, and they had a lot to do with whatever little performance I was able to deliver. It's something I wish every student would have exposure to.
Otunnu, an astute student at the King's College Buddo, got another scholarship at Makerere University to do law. He describes his time at Makerere University as a generation that was an envy of many African countries.
Makerere had a very special and large role, not just in Uganda, but in Eastern and Southern Africa. Students came from South Africa, from Malawi.
Otunnu doesn't hesitate to speak about some of the top political leaders that he mingled with while at university.
Dr. Ruakana Rugunda was then at Makerere doing medicine. He was president of NUSU, National Union of Students of Uganda. Emmanuel Tumusime Mutebile, now the governor of the Bank of Uganda, he was president of the Guild. And Imam Babazi was part of University Hall, a very strong supporter of mine. Minister Otafire was in Lumumba, very, very, very militant. Honorable Matembe was in Makerere at the same time with me.
As fate would have it, Otunnu, elected Guild president at university, didn't complete his term of office, which was during the Idi Amin era.
Because when Idi Amin came to power, he abolished political activities, he abolished political parties. The center of gravity shifted to Makerere Hill and to the student movement. He sat in a meeting in which plan was drawn up to send a team of security men to university to collect me and to kill me.
Otunnu, whose life was under threat, fled to the UK and joined Oxford University and finally to Harvard. One of the attributes that Otunnu credits his success is the strong family religious background.
The East African revival, that's what it was really called, from Rwanda to Burundi to Uganda to Kenya to Tanzania and so on. My father was preaching all the time. He was on the road, what today we'd call an evangelist.
At Harvard University, Otunnu then settled in New York and practiced law for a while before moving upstate to become assistant professor of law at Albany Law School.
I also was a professor in Paris. I taught at a place called the American University in Paris.
It's at this point in the early 80s where he joined the United Nations, rising in the ranks to become president of the United Nations Security Council.
Exciting, very active period. Much later, I would come back to the United Nations, this time not representing a country, this time not as part of a delegation, but this time as a senior official of the United Nations Secretariat.
In 1981, he set a record for innovating the straw balloting system known as the Otunnu formula, which has been used ever since to date as the election system for the Secretary General. Perhaps one would say he's one of the well-traveled Ugandans that has traversed the whole world for humanitarian causes. He's also well known for his intellectual ability of negotiating in the different war zones while in the UN. With all this work, this later on earned him recognition from different institutions such as Sydney Peace Prize, the German African Prize, and Eleanor Kagan, now the US Court of Justice, and among other prizes. For several occasions, he was nominated to be the head of the UN Secretary General, but Otunnu says he was frustrated by his country.
There was some major sabotage from Kampala. So at the last minute, the project was sabotaged.
So are you married and do you have any children that you take care of?
Not yet. Hope springs eternal, and I have nothing against marriage. I raised 7 adopted children when I was abroad.
I then asked him why he decided to return home and join politics.
I've been involved in political activities at the UN and so on, but party politics is new to me. One of the most frustrating things about being back in Uganda is how we tend to be so one-dimensional in our thinking, in our perception.
Many people have noticed you have a unique kind of dressing, and in many occasions, whether diplomatic, whether weddings, any kind of occasion, you always have the same dress code.
I want to be free, and I don't particularly like being in a suit. I like fabric. I like fabric. So when I travel, it doesn't matter where I go. I just go to the fabric market, you know, and select some fabric that I like, and then I go to a tailor, a local tailor, and just do a little drawing for them.
His love for nature has drawn him this far side of the capital, Kampala, to the deep Buganda region where he feels he can appreciate life at its best and nature. Maurice Ochol, NTV.